Saumya.
Hello, Vikin.
Hi, Manas. Manas has joined us. Saumya, welcome. Good to have you over here. And before we get into this thing, let me just talk a little bit about Wings to Life as to what it is. So, Wings to Life, we have started this going live every Sunday, and we are a health and wellness organization where six people have come together, life coaches, to actually go into the field of wellness, and we are trying to bring people on who we feel are very very inspiring, or their life is very inspiring, and that's why we have tried to bring you on. So our vision basically is to inspire and help people to turn their dreams into reality. And one thing I think is very very important in that is the stories are very very inspiring, whether it is yours, whether it is somebody else, and they equip people to adapt to the realities of life and give a purpose and meaning to them. So people are joining in. Shreyas, everyone is saying hi. So on the other side, there is this young, dynamic, lovely lady, Saumya Rastogi, who is joining us from a beautiful, beautiful city of New York right now. She's over there for vacation, and she's actually studying in Boston University, MS Journalism. And what to tell about her? She's a writer, she's a traveler, she danced till her heels doesn't break, she's an amateur photographer. Uh, she is basically bulletproof with a very, very beautiful and sweet heart. So she's a badass, with a lovely heart, like an angel. And we are going to today talk to you, Soumya, regarding where you come from, how you have become bulletproof, yet you have that heart of angel, and so much art within you, so much that what to say, I, so to say, to pick up things and put them into beautiful beautiful words that you put in. A lot of people are waving in hi. So welcome everyone who is joining us, and we are going to get into conversation with Soumya. So Soumya, how's New York, first of all?
New York is beautiful. It's so vibrant. There are so many people, especially New York City. It's always bustling and there's so much crowd. And always in New York City, you'll find yourself doing something interesting. So
That's there.
I
uh,
love it.
I have been to New York only once, long time back, 2007 it was, but it happens to be one of my favorite cities in the world. I think we briefly spoke about that thing. So, is it snowing over there?
Oh, it was snowing earlier, but it melted. Today is a very sunny day.
So it was White Christmas.
Yeah, more or less, but it was
Perfect.
not snowing on Christmas itself.
No worries. Ruchita, hi, welcome. Uh, Good to see you over here. So, Soumya, let's start off, and let's talk a bit about you as to who really Saumya Rastogi is. I said a couple of things, but there's a lot to you, and we are going to actually, talk about those things. And let's start from there as to who really is Saumya Rastogi.
That's a very deep question. Who am I? Well, I don't know how to describe myself, but I would just say I'm a journalist. I'm a student who's studying journalism in Boston University. I just turned 23, so, and I think that's how I'll describe myself as my identity or my career.
I think we will find out more about you, and because your career is not your identity, that is something that you do. That's one thing. So, Ruchita, like Soumya, like you just mentioned that you are doing MS journalism and
hmm
going from Delhi all the way over to US to do that thing. What kind of got you into this journalism field? How did it start off for you? What kind of pulled you towards
Oh.
it?
It's quite an interesting story if I think about it because I never I never thought I would become a journalist. Earlier from school days, it was either a lawyer or something related to making more more money. It was like that. And for journalism, I dropped out of law school I took a gap year and then I joined journalism. Not even journalism, bachelor's in multimedia and mass comm from Indraprastha College for Women, Delhi University. And then finally I moved into actually journalism. So it's quite a it's quite a leap from law to journalism, which I took.
And
So,
and that too, when you were just talking about money, you were just talking about money, and then you are moving into. I mean, people are famous. A lot of people have gone on to do a lot of good things in journalism as well. Uh,
mm-hmm,
but from a law, from a place where said, it was about money and all that thing, and then
mm-hmm.
you were kind of on to that, and then you left everything, and you took a gap year as well, which is kind of, very unconventional thing in India, and then you actually went on to do journalism. So what's the story? How did that happen? Why did the gap year came in, and how did you move from this to completely, journalism, completely different field?
So for me, law was something always I wanted to do to make money. It was an easy field. It would like get me money in any form. Like I would be earning a lot, and it never struck me that it'd be so boring that it would kind of not let me be creative. Like the writer inside me would not be able to come out that easily with a law. So I decided that I'd take a gap year and that law wasn't the choice for me. The decision itself was very difficult, I would say, because first of all, I'd never heard about anyone taking a gap year in India. It was a idea which was like, okay, what will you do with your life? You're wasting your time. Everybody around you is doing something. You also need to do something now. So I was like, okay, but I didn't want to go continue with law. It made me feel depressed. It made me feel less creative. I'm not saying law in its own of itself is a bad profession. I know a lot of lawyers, but there are quite a few things which made me feel like I should choose journalism. So I decided I'd take a gap year. But that gap year itself was amazing for me. I learned a lot. I started volunteering for a organization which teaches underprivileged children. I started dancing. Started dance classes. I It's just what you make out of that gap year and how you build yourself through that gap year is what made me realize that I could actually go into writing and I could actually go into journalism as a profession because I was learning about the stories of people around me and how they actually overcame a lot of struggles, and I was learning so much about them that it made me feel like I could actually write stories about different people, and that what's motivated me to become a journalist.
Fantastic, and you just spoke about, a lot of things in this thing, conventional thing, moving into that gap year, which is not a thing in India. It's thing abroad, but yes, it's not a thing in India. So
Mm.
however, and you just mentioned the word depression over there, you kind of felt depressed that people are doing. So how did that, the people who are listening to you, being an Indian who has kind of, people take gap year not generally to figure out themselves in India, youngsters, they take gap year to, prepare for something. That's what we have
Mm-hmm.
generally heard about. So
Mm-hmm.
you took a gap year to do what you wanted and figure out. So how did that gap year work out for you? Did that give you a lot of things which, is going to be through you all through your life, and it was something that has made you a better person?
Yeah, definitely. I would say that that year was so difficult for me, first of all, because I had this mental societal pressure that I need to do something with my life. I need to make something out of my life. But at the second time, I think my parents were very supportive. They said, okay, it's okay. Now you have time. Now you figure out yourself, do the activities that you like, do what you need to do in this time, and grow as a person. So at that time, I started volunteering for an organization, and the learnings that I got from the gap year, I think have built me into a more empathetic individual who understands the struggles of other people. And at the same time, it's helped me write better, more freely, and with more empathy by keeping myself in other people's shoes. So, in and of itself, it's what you make out of that gap year which matters most.
Absolutely. A lot of people in India try to figure that thing out. You being young has been able to do that thing. And that's why I say, you're an inspiration. I mean, we as an organization, Wings to Life, do that because people come to us and say, okay, we are confused. We don't know which direction to take or what decisions to make. And a lot of people do not realize that, people do not self-reflect as to what they really want. They do not want to take the time. One word that you use, societal pressure. There's
Mm-hmm.
not just societal pressure, there's peer pressure, there's a lot of negative emotion, there's a lot of limiting beliefs. And here you have parents who have been supportive, you have gone out to do whatever you want, and you took that 1 year, which people would say lost, but I would say you gained so much by actually, doing what you really, really wanted to do. So fantastic thing for you. I was reading your, Instagram thing, and you actually spoke about a noun, sonder, and what it says is profound feeling of realizing that everyone, including strangers that pass the street, has a life as complex as one's own, which they constantly live despite one's personal lack of awareness. I think what you just spoke about, you got awareness during that time, and you moved away from lack of awareness to that conscious awareness where you really know what you need to do. But I would touch a little bit on that thing. Do you think life is really complex? Because it says over here, life as complex as, of the other person. So do you think life is really complex?
I think I would, like that sonder, that noun is very important because we do not understand that each of us is living a very different life. All of us have struggles and we can help each other out and be aware of each other's struggles, right? So life is not complex. I think we make it more complex.
Very
Uh,
true.
our our emotions, our beliefs, our dreams, our hopes. Life is simple, you need to live it, but it's our expectations of it, it's our disappointments related to it, which make it so complicated for us. That's what I believe.
So that's absolutely true. There is one very important word called the acceptance. A lot of people do not come to terms, acceptance. They have this expectation of how it should have been or how it should have gone. But the
Mhm.
acceptance of the way it is, how it is, that's how it is. Which also brings me again to something that you have posted on your post about a poem from Joanne Didion's Why I Write. And I'll pick out one line from there. But our vicious, but our minds are vicious animals who categorize and find meaningness in everything. So I think that again brings to this point what you're talking about. Life is simple, but with everything that is going around, analysis, paralysis, thoughts, why it should be like this, why it is not like that. We try to give meaningness to everything rather than accepting the way it is. And once you have that acceptance, then probably your mind can start giving solutions. Okay, now I know this is what it is, without trying to deduce anything out of it, and now see what we need to do about it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, very true, very true. I completely agree.
And
I feel,
sorry, go
I
ahead.
feel, I feel that life is very simple. Life is easy, and we are the people who make it more difficult with all our labels attached to it. And I think we can make it easier for us if we just start living it instead of thinking about how we should live it.
Very true. I like what you say. Uh, so I'll go to, you have learned so much in such a young life, and there was a phase in which you actually went through, a period of depression. Uh,
Hmm.
and there was therapy that was involved over there as well. So, and then you have gone on to college where you have actually learned to come out of your shell, and then got very good friends who have supported you through the phase as well. So what people can learn. Do you want to talk a little bit about that aspect as to how what took you into that and how did you come out of it?
So I would say there was a lot of I was in 11th grade. I was in a bad relationship. There was a lot of pressure regarding studies and everything. That itself everyone goes through, I would say, some point in time. But it affected me really badly. I became very depressed and very anxious at the same time. I did not perform very well in 11th, but it's what 12th grade was for me. I think because of therapy, because of talking to my parents about it, who supported me really well about it helped me overcome that. I still go through it sometimes. I still have depressive episodes related to it, but it's not as bad because now I have a support system who like talks about it with me, who can easily break that taboo around it. So in 11th grade, it's surprising that there was this whole taboo in India around mental health that time when I was coming of age. So I would say that people were not as sensitive about it as they are now. So it's great that there's a conversation around mental health now. So it's not only taking therapy, but it's also what you imbibe in your life, which matters, the kind of beliefs that you have in your life, which help you overcome depression, anxiety, and such illnesses which happen to you. So I would say that's what helped me. It's the activities that I put myself through. Like I was talking about me being a part of a organization called Hope Foundation where I was teaching kids. It helped me feel like how grateful are these children for their lives and why am I worrying so much about my own life when they're at a much they're not as privileged as I am as a person. So it helped me shift my focus from myself to how I could help other people. And that's how I overcame my depression, my anxiety. And there are still times when I go through it, but it's just much better because I have these coping mechanisms of writing, of putting other people's feelings into stories. So that's what helped me come out of it, writing essentially.
Thanks a lot, Soumya, for sharing that. I mean, people are listening over here, and it's very difficult to, come out of that shell and speak so openly. And you have spoken about your depression and how it has helped you. But couple of things that I picking up, and we as an organization, Wings to Life, basically takes people through that thing. One thing that you spoke about, support system. I think support system is one of the strongest things where it's not just the support system but the non-judgmental support system that is there because they know what you're going through, and if you get a support system like that, I think half your battles are probably won. Then of course you might be having coping mechanisms, which we talk about as well, and people who are into life coaching or therapy or counseling, they actually teach you those life coping mechanisms. One thing that you just spoke about as well is your beliefs and what the beliefs that you imbibe in yourself, and those beliefs could be either limiting beliefs or it could be positive beliefs as well. So what were those beliefs that and how did you actually overcome those beliefs? So what was the coping mechanism which pulled you out of this depression besides the support system, and you leapfrogged into this lovely lady that today is there, confident and living the life and doing the things that you want to do, and still going ahead with it, knowing that yes, you have those episodes, but you know how to cope with them and move forward continually.
So it's basically the idea that life is for living. You should flow with what life brings to you. You should not let you. I'm not saying don't be sad or don't show emotions. Just vent out all your emotions. They're as like any emotion is as common as happiness, right? But we have this constricting belief that sadness is bad or that crying is bad. No, it's a limiting belief, I would say, that crying is bad. Venting is so important. Talking to other people about your feelings is so important. So that's what really helped me, talking about it, writing about it, and venting essentially through my writing, which helped me overcome a lot of my beliefs about depression. And there's this belief, I would also say, relating to depression, that it's something different. Like it's not like a bodily disease, a bodily illness, but a belief which helped me was like it's as common as diabetes or any other heart disease. So why are we so we are so tabooed against it? Why are we thinking so much about it? It like if you get treatment for diabetes, for cancer, for all these other illnesses which happen to people, then why not depression? So I took therapy, I took medications, and therapy was very important for me, I said, because it's helping me speak to a person about my feelings, and that's what essentially making me more open about it. And at the same time, who people who are like me, who are relating to this, who are going through this, will understand this and also share their own struggles with me. So it's building this whole ecosystem around you of people and family, friends who will understand you, who have gone through some part of it, who have similar struggles, and sharing it with each other.
Absolutely. Very, very truly said. The gratitude, like you said, people who have gone through this, they actually, have a lot of gratitude. You also just mentioned, and one of the things is doing certain thing which, underprivileged kids or old age people, which kind of gives you a perspective as to, as to what they have and what you have. And it tries to come bring you out of those things. Also, that support system which we have been talking about, I think that is very, very important. Whichever medium you take, support system is something that is going to help you a long way. I do know that you started writing earlier for yourself. Was it challenging? Now you have a fan following of 5,000 on Instagram. Congratulations for that. And I have read your writings. They are really, really beautiful. I like writing, but you are poetic as well, and you're a woman who takes stands as well. And you're someone who is into journalism writing as well. I know you like journalism writing more, but there are these beautiful, beautiful phrases that you kind of write, which are your original thoughts, which you have put out over there. And I would like people to go actually, and read those things. I'm pretty sure everyone is reading, but the ones who haven't or joining from our platform, they should probably be going and reading over there as to, how, is important to, sometimes people actually feel this thing that, this is my thing. Let me keep it with me. But here you were, where you started writing for yourself, and then it
Mhm.
became a thing. Let me go out. How did that
Mhm.
happen? And what change has that brought into you?
I think first it was just for am I audible?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
you're perfectly audible.
So my first thing was that I wanted it for self-expression, for like just putting down my own feelings in it. But later, when I saw that there are so many people like me who might get helped with these writings, because when I write, it comes straight from my heart. When I write poetry, journalism is still a career or a type of writing which gets you money, but this is just for creative expression. This is for helping other people also understand what they might be going through. So it's creating this level of relatability with them. And at the same time, it, it's not only content for me. Like it's not only content I put out on Instagram. I think it's to give a message to people that you are not alone. So when I start writing, it comes out naturally to me. It's like my thoughts, all my feelings, and it just goes down on pen and paper. So it's what I feel deeply about a lot of things. It's also a lot to do with my depression and how I used writing to heal myself out of it, to heal and make me myself better. And at the same time, put it out for the world to read, because I want them to I want them to understand my struggle, and at the same time create this empathy between us, that we are not alone in our struggles, and we can together come out of this. So
Very true.
that's that's the idea behind
No, it's
writing.
a fantastic idea. It takes people, it takes a lot of courage to actually come out. But then, when you get this kind of support that there are people, and when you go out to do something good, I mean, you just said you got to earn money. So yeah, journalism is there. Yeah, you got to pay the bills at the end of the day. So that is there. But your creative stuff, I mean, you have to be, authentic and true to yourself. And I think that's what the best thing about a writer is. A lot of writers sometimes might go into that commercial thing, but when that comes straight from the heart and when you're authentic and when you're true, I think that's what is needed, and people can feel that when it's coming straight from the heart. So kudos to for doing that thing. You mentioned when we were briefly talking earlier that you have a page of yourself. Is it the one that you through Instagram, or is it a completely different page for the depression that you actually handle as well?
Oh, yeah, it's a different page. So I started working on a project during my college years called Depression and Expression. So basically, it's underscore depression expression underscore. So the page is, it started as a project I was working on to bring awareness around depression, to break the several taboos around it, and also to help people who could not seek help. Because I would say that therapy, a lot of people do not prefer therapy and they do not want to go into therapy. They think it's not common. So I wanted them to actually reach out and actually get help for themselves, and also build other mechanisms and make them aware that these are also some things which can help you come out of depression. So this page was like very close to me because I've also gone through it. So I understand better that what what it means and how can people overcome it. So that page is a different page on Instagram. It's underscore depression expression underscore. So it's called one day at a time. It's basically the idea that take it easy, take it cool, take it one day at a time.
And one photograph at a time. Like your Saumya's page is there. That's where you write all this stuff as well with photographs and all that thing. So that's another wonderful page of yours. Um, so you went into therapy and the medicinal way. Do you think that's the only way to really come out of the depression?
No, I think there's so many different ways. It also depends on the severity of the illness, I would say. Like, the medication is important if it's a very severe illness that you're going through. But if it's any minor thing, I think therapy is important. And I would say, like, sometimes people feel judged when they talk to people who they know, right? So when they're talking to a random stranger about it, they do not feel like there would be any negative repercussions to it. And also, therapy gives you a lot of advice and goals that you can work on, which is very important, I would say. And I would also go further to say that therapy is not only for people who are going through something. It's also for people who want to become better individuals, who want to become more goal centered, who want to work on their goals. And anyone who is going through something which is not d- coming down to an illness can actually work with a therapist or with a coach or a mentor who can help them overcome all of this.
Absolutely. Soumya, you have touched a very important point. There are different levels of therapy, and uh, like you said earlier, probably meant therapy or something, or going into depression, going to for a medical disorder was a taboo. Same way, life coaching, like you just spoke, get to a coach or a mentor. Life coach is not even very well known as of now, and one of the things that Wings to Life tries to do is actually, reach out to people that this is little bit different from what people think about, and it's more a goal oriented thing. It's more about finding self awareness as to how what you are, who you are, what your limiting beliefs are, and it's a kind of a structured thing to how to overcome and then move into goal oriented phase. And also not just look at that, but look at your entire environment, because we cannot emphasize, over and over again, but it's very important, that support structure, that accountability system. And that's what people can move from one stage to another. Like you mentioned, you get clarity in life where you want to go. You
Mm-hmm.
really understand who you are, authentic, true to yourself. Those are certain words which we have spoken. And I think once that clarity, people start gaining that, whether through therapy, whether through life coaching, their life could be lot better, and they could be actually on a path to achieve the vision that they want to have. I'm really enjoying this conversation, but people want to know more about you, so let's go to those lighter phases of things as to journalism. But how about dancing? How about traveling? That's also a thing about you, right? And you dance till the time heels don't break, and you can split and do all that thing. How did that happen?
So I think from a very young age, I just wanted to dance. I took up Kathak earlier, but then I moved towards jazz dance. So I know both forms of dance. And I'm just out of practice a little bit now, but yes, I can still do a split. I'm pretty flexible that way. So I would just say that dance was a part of me. It's also another mode of self-expression, right? So you can take all your emotions and make form it into dance movements and feel every movement that there is, right? So dance was very important to me growing up. I was very influenced by the dance culture. I used to watch all the dance shows that used to come, like Dance India Dance you have, or any Jhalak Dikhla Ja, or the like many shows that used to come on TV. I was so influenced by it. I took up dance. I wanted to be as good as them. And like that's how I got into dancing. And traveling, I would say, traveling was like a habit which my father and my family kind of inculcated in me. We used to take trips every year to some place, whether it was in India or abroad. And I think it's a very good habit. It helps you explore places. It gives you a lot of exposure. You understand different cultures, different mindsets, and you it's just a beautiful way of understanding other people's lives, I would say, traveling. So I still love traveling. I try going to nearby places. With COVID, it's been a little tough, but hopefully now that the vaccine is in roles, we might just be traveling again.
Absolutely. Everybody I think is wanting to go back to normal. I don't know how normal will it be. The exact normal was it before, or it's going to be a different normal. But while you were talking about, dance and traveling, I could relate to that thing. And what I would say is that you have lived what you really wanted, and that's what is important for people, to really live what they really want, come out of those limiting beliefs. And it might be, for you it is art, for you it is probably, like dance is also a form of art. For someone it might be cooking, for someone it might be something else. For me it's swimming, for me it's writing, for me it's motorcycling, for me it's adventure sports. So when I kind of go into those aspects which where my heart is calling me, I really feel joyous about that thing. And traveling, I can connect quite a lot, because I started traveling solo for almost, I've been traveling solo for almost 12 to 13 years now. And
Mm-hmm.
no pressure kind of thing. I can, on some other time, probably if we connect, we'll connect, and then I can tell you stories just sitting on the tarmac waiting for a plane to go up in the sky so that I can do skydive. 4 hours just waiting on the tarmac because the bad weather is coming. But at that time, you really connect with people. You really come to know that you have to be so much to live. There is so much to live. There is so much to be thankful about, and there is so much beauty in the world. I mean, not sitting on the tarmac, but in India at least, you sit at a footpath. There's so much of life that passes you by, and there are so many stories that you can, really feel and touch. So it's all about experiencing and living your life the way you really want it. Uh, Reminds me of something. Probably going to take a minute, but Shakespeare's, there's a writing of Shakespeare, in which he says, uh, something, life is not a midsummer dream, nor it is a tempest. It is but a comedy of errors, so live it as you like it. So this used to be my statement for a very, very long time, and I really used to love it, because those last time, live it as like it. It is really something that go out without breaking someone's heart, without making someone feel bad. Just go live your life. I think that's the key takeaway from here. Um, so coming back to this journalism bit, now we are talking, people are listening to you. Journalism, if somebody wants to really take up journalism, really take up writing, is it a skill that can be acquired? Is it something that, has to be, you have to born with that flair, or it has to be a skill that can be acquired?
So I think I wasn't born with journalism. It's definitely a skill you can acquire. And over time, it's how you build yourself and uh, kind of become a journalist. So it's just that it's also a natural flair towards things that you have and how you evolve towards it. Like observation is very important, and I think a lot of incidents in my life helped me observe things better. And I think curiosity is important. If you are curious, if you want to know more, learn more, I think every person in life has a little curiosity, and it's just how you flame that curiosity and becomes bigger and you want to just expand more. So curiosity is very important, I would say. I would even go on to say that if you're very creative, if you have a creative mind, if you want to explore different ideas, different people, different places, if you like traveling, that all of these skills add up and make up a journalist. But there's this natural empathy which it takes to narrate the stories of other people. And also, if you want to bring social change, I think that is very important. A journalist usually wants to bring social change in
Yeah.
the environment they are, and they want to create awareness regarding that. So these are some characteristics I would say that a person should have if they want to go into journalism.
I think talking to you and knowing a bit about you, I think you're going to be a great journalist, because you have that curiosity, you have that empathic bend of mind. You travel, you want to put out those stories. You have, overcome your own struggles to actually get to that stage. Now, talking about, overcoming the struggles, how important was your mindset, in all this, talking about from class 11 that you have just told us the story, coming till this date, sitting in New York, today, uh, how important has mindset been in this entire journey?
I think it's very important. If you have a strong mindset that you have these particular goals that you want to achieve in life, then you just go for it and you just go and achieve what you want in life. I would say that a strong mindset, a very clear vision of what you want in life is very important for you to actually achieve it later. I am not saying that you won't have hurdles, you won't have obstacles, but it'll become 100 times better if you have a clear and strong mindset to overcome those obstacles in life. Also, a very strong mindset I had during all these years, and I still have now, is a belief that I just feel that life is what you make of it. Life isn't as serious as you make out of it, and it's just flowing with what it brings to you. So if you like constantly fight fight what it is coming your way and not let it flow, or you just try to restrict that, it's going to be very problematic for you. So it's just how it goes, how it flows. It's like a there's a very good poem, The Brook. So I was reading it when I was very young in, I don't know, class sixth or seventh, but I love English, so I still remember it somehow. Life is like a brook. It has twists and turns. It meanders, it goes in different ways, it has different paths to it, but essentially it is like water, it flows. So that's a teaching I got.
Stay fluid.
Stay fluid, yes.
Yeah, so I kind of like some of the words that you have used is this entire thing. Vision is one thing that you spoke about. I think that is one of the most important things. A lot of people start on different things, but they don't have a vision. And in life coaching or Wings to Life, when we actually do these things, we actually put these things together, and we call it a compelling vision. The vision has to be so compelling that it kind of your vision becomes bigger than anything. And there are about two three things that you combine together. One is the vocabulary that you use, what kind of vocabulary you are using, what kind of story you're telling yourself, that's your belief sets, what kind of, and what kind of physiology you are in. So if you work all these things together, you're always working at a very optimum state of mind, and that's what builds your strong mindset and continues onto the path or where you really want to be. And I think so you have got all those things in you. And I have to congratulate you, for the journey that you had in such a young age in becoming the person that you are. You remind me of Keanu Reeves, actually, what I started off with and
Oh
said
my
that,
God.
yeah, yeah. Keanu Reeves, if people want to read out his story, Keanu Reeves' story, it's a really, really beautiful story of his. How he went for a heartbreak to, losing his family to becoming the person he is today. And what is said about him, he is a badass with the heart of an angel. So he's such a lovely guy. Uh, and he kind of comes across like that because of the movies that he does. So badass with the heart of an angel. So I think so that's something which is very, very important. And you, in that true sense, living the life the way you are, you're living queen size life, and and badass with the heart of an angel. That's what I would say to you. And people are talking about here the flow, beautiful poem and thought process. So thanks to you, Chetal. Shalini is talking about lovely poem. So Shweta is also saying love the poem. So pretty much people are really, really going gaga over you. So thanks a lot for being over here. Uh, I would love to continue talking, but we have to, wrap up this session. And I have really enjoyed this conversation with you. We had our one conversation before as well. That was even, more fantastic as well. This candid flow of conversation. So, Soumya, before I let you go, what would be certain things that you will pass on to these audience uh, in this, you know, 23-year-old? I keep saying that, I don't know why, but I feel like you have overcome so many things and you have so much to give. So, what are those wise words that you would actually talk about at this point of time before we kind of wrap up this session?
I would say one thing that let it flow. Let it flow. Like whatever is happening, let it flow. Like I said, stay fluid, right? So just let it flow. Let so like if something bad has happened, eventually move on, move out of it and let it go. So it's just the idea that people can be like water and life is what you make out of it. So I think these two are very important readings that I got through my life. And I think many people might relate to it because every person has some obstacles in life and we need to overcome them. So we need to take it easy and we don't need to take everything so seriously in life. If we
Absolutely.
keep if we keep taking everything seriously in life, we won't be able to enjoy it. We won't be able to like really live, I would say. So sometimes you just have to let it flow.
There you have it, everyone who's hearing to this conversation. Let it flow. Though that's the mantra, let it flow. Soumya, wishing you a very, very good luck for everything that you're doing. I hope that you continue to grow, you enjoy your time in Boston, and we will. try to bring you on back again sometime. We will try to stay in connect with each other. And it was so lovely speaking to you at this point of time. So, guys, Saumya Rastogi and Wings to Life came together to have this conversation, which is kind of her life, which is an inspiring story, and how to move, step to step and make your life stronger and better and beautiful. And she does that all the time through her pages, through her Instagram account. We as Wings to Life do that through structured program where we try to bring clarity, remove the tussle between the heart and mind and put people on that same path. So thanks a lot, Saumya. The day is just starting over there. It's Sunday, so enjoy your Sunday in New York. It's a sunny Sunday, and I will take your leave at this point of time.
Thank you, Vikin. Thank you so much for having me. And it's wonderful that Wings to Life is working on this, and it's a beautiful initiative that you all have taken. So it's great. And I'd love to speak again soon when I'm a career journalist or probably even older a bit and have more experiences to share.
I hope we speak before that. There will be other things to talk about. Your dancing, your traveling, your photographs, and everything in between. So we will have, and we look forward to seeing you again. So till then, and thanks a lot for appreciating us and coming on this platform.
Thank you. Bye
Take
bye.
care. Bye bye.